Please welcome to the stage Snoop Dogg and Ted Chung. What's up? We go way back. Wherever you, well, not wherever you'd like. You're going to sit right in the middle, actually. I'm going to tell you where to sit. You're here.
Yes, sir.
It's all happening.
Live in the flesh.
I know. Let me just breathe for a second. You've been investing for a while now. Why?
First of all, if I invest, it's got to be fun. It's got to be something that I feel that, is different and amazing, because that's what I like to associate myself with. So first and foremost, that's what I'm looking for when I do invest.
Okay. And in terms of like what you've learned from your investments, like, were you investing with some plan in mind? Were you seeking something out, or?
Well, in the beginning, it was just more, investing on creativity, but then it became more business, and then it was things that I liked. For example, the cannabis industry. So I would always look and see things in that field and see that it was things that was missing. So I was like, you know what? The best thing that I could do is try to develop my own situation, see if I could, get in where I fit in on that side.
Because there have been rumors that you've been building something, and I think you might want to tell us a little bit about that? Or?
Yeah, I've been building a little something. It's called Mary Jane, and I could show you better than I could tell you. We brought some video to try to help us explain what it is. So if you don't mind, we'd like to show you a little clip.
Important turning point in the economy and wellness of the 21st century is the world of mainstream cannabis. Society's perspective of this progressive culture has modernized how we interact and communicate with this new movement. Hundreds of millions of people all around the world use cannabis, and even more are touched by its effects on a global scale. In early 2015, cannabis was named the fastest growing industry in the United States, set to reach an annual worth of $11 billion a year by the year 2019. Every cultural obsession requires a relevant culture hub, a place for people with collective interests and lifestyles to unite. ESPN is sports, Vogue is fashion, Rolling Stone is music, and today, Mary Jane is cannabis. Mary Jane is Cannabis 2.0, a crossroads of pop culture, business, politics, health, and a new generation of normalized, sophisticated cannabis culture for all. Mary Jane is tapping into the global expansion of cannabis through 5 encompassing categories: culture, news, food and style, video. Mary Jane offers something for everyone as the center of cannabis lifestyle. In addition to content, Mary Jane offers essential tools for the new frontier of cannabis business, bringing together consumers and businesses in a streamlined fashion online and on mobile. The Good section is a revolutionary way to discover all products for a new era of cannabis consumption. Explore dispensaries to find premier retail locations nearby. Mary Jane represents the new reality of cannabis as part of our daily lives. Cannabis culture is reinventing the culture paradigm, and Mary Jane is at the helm of the movement.
Right? A whole new world. Okay. So what investments have you made in the cannabis industry, and what kind of partnerships are we going to see, or network effect kind of are we going to see?
Go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, well, I think that this is probably the priority on everything we're doing right now in the cannabis space. Obviously, Snoop has been at the helm of this movement for his whole career globally, and the time is just right. We saw, as Snoop mentioned, a huge arbitrage with the way that the conversation around cannabis and the utilities that are provided for the community and for those that are touched by cannabis and just want to learn more about it, it just wasn't available. And it wasn't done authentically. It wasn't driven by, I think, a certain sophisticated standard of content, which is really our expertise, along with some of the partners that we have in the space, like your good buddy that's joining us in the content space.
Yeah, Seth Rogen is down with the team, so he'll be providing us with content. So you can look for some great content from Mr. Rogen on the Mary Jane site.
And you probably have seen, we sort of breadcrumb and teased it a little bit on the VMAs when Miley Cyrus, is part of the support group helping brand Mary Jane during one of the skits. So it's just us sort of gathering the top tier influencers, content creators in this space, and sharing the normalized modern communication around cannabis.
This might sound like a obvious question or maybe even a dumb question, but Snoop, why do you like cannabis so much? Like, what is it? Like, I mean, it's been such a huge part of your brand. I just would be interested to hear, like, why?
I should take you to my green room.
I'm fine with that, maybe after this.
Nah, well, for one, I enjoy it for medical reasons.
Trouble sleeping?
And I mean, it's a peace situation with me. Every time that I've always been around it, I've seen beautiful things happen. I've seen people, manifest love, peace, and happiness and harmony. And I've always been, an advocate for it. And now that I can see that it becomes more of a business and it's more educational and it's more, technical with the whole world in general, it gives off more than just me just trying to smoke, but me giving you a whole explanation of what it is. If you want to learn about it, if you want to get some insight about it, we'll provide you all the information that you need to know. We'll be like the encyclopedia to the cannabis world.
Cool. Well, what kind of content can we expect to see? I know you said that there's going to be a large network of not only celebrities, but other kind of editorial workers and videographers, but what exactly can we expect from this kind of video content?
Well, it really is a diverse range, right? So you're talking about cultural content that's with regards to technology, food. We have a cooking show and a bunch of original series that are coming out. And, to kind of expand further on what Snoop was saying, the great thing about the cannabis industry, beyond its medical benefits and the social benefits, it's the job creation. We're talking about a business that's going to be, in the $19 billion range domestically in a few years. $1 billion in flower sold in Colorado last year alone. 30% of that went to the state, and 10% of that, 30, went to Board of Education. So where else in places like the heartland of America are you going to see a cultural and economic revolution like with cannabis? And that's the beautiful thing about what we're doing. It's a movement and an integration into what pop culture is and what real business is in America today. But as far as series, we do have one thing to show you real quick. One of the series is called Deflowered. And we had the opportunity to meet with Captain Mike Owens and Sergeant Matt from a charity called Vetality that helps veterans reintegrate into the workforce. And our series Deflowered is a very cool one-on-one interview series where the person gets to enjoy cannabis and share about a new life experience that they've had. So we can roll that real quick and show everyone.
I'm Mike, former Marine captain, run a nonprofit called Vitality.
I'm Matt, former Marine Infantry Sergeant, retired. And this is Deflowered.
So I can tell you the first time that I pretty much discovered alternative medicine would work for me. Being in the military, being in combat, you have to operate at 2,000 miles an hour. And coming home and operating at 0, that white noise is deafening. I had a friend that transitioned out of the military and didn't properly transition. Went through a lot of turmoil, went down the path of least resistance and went to the Veterans Administration. Kind of did everything he was told and said, hey, here's what's been given to you, here you go. What I saw was just a diabolical, just downward spiral of opiates, barbiturates, narcotics, you name it, the gambit was ran. I saw that and it wasn't a route I wanted to take, and I knew that was something that had to be fixed.
Him and I went almost down the same pathways. I was taking a significant amount medicine to help with stress, anxiety, sleeping, and I couldn't function on a day-to-day basis. I lost like 30 pounds. I wasn't at the gym. I wasn't healthy. I got arrested. I was bad. And I knew that I had to change what I was doing because I wasn't going to be around for too much longer if I kept doing that. A lot of guys get out and no one tells us anything. You know, I mean, you have to research a lot of it on your own.
I went on a hippie retreat down in Ocean Beach. It kind of led me to kind of this awakening and kind of things that I saw teach you how medical cannabis coupled with massage therapy, yoga, Reiki, theta healing, all that combined to treat stress, to treat anxiety. It's extremely beneficial.
For me, medicinal marijuana alleviates taking so much medicine that veterans are on nowadays. It's overwhelming. This is something that veterans need to consider.
Medical cannabis is the only, I wouldn't say drug because it's not a drug, it's the only medication that I've experienced that actually has beneficial results.
Did you feel a sense of empowerment on your own, being able to take control of your own mental health?
What's America? I should be able to do that.
Wow. It's pretty awesome. Congrats on that. But I do want to move to a slightly lighter note. A wise man once said, got my mind on my money on my mind. Media sites don't traditionally make a ton of money. What's the plan in terms of business model for Mary Jane? Is it just standard advertising, sponsored content, or is there more to be expected from that?
Yeah, I mean, advertising is definitely a part of the model, and content integration, of course. The huge opportunity here, beyond and most importantly, sharing and opening up the door to the real discussion, and there'll be serious content and news such as Deflowered, and we'll also have lighter content and humor content. There'll be music video exclusives. Partners like Seth Rogen are helping us curate that and put it together. The most important thing, though, is that the business itself, which is in the multi-billions, does not have a definite destination to share. The brands don't have a place to share what they want to communicate, and the retail locations really don't have a place that has repeat usage where they can accurately provide information and medical stats and technical stats on like the products that they offer. So Mary Jane will definitely be at the helm of that when we launch in October.
And in terms of like legalization, right? Like the industry and the country is changing pretty rapidly. You guys are behind medical marijuana legalization, I would assume.
I stand very high on legalization marijuana around America because it's necessary. It's really doing a good thing. You look at all of the medical studies of the people that is saving the lives and the kids that is helping with the seizures, and it's just doing a lot of great things out there as opposed to what it's not doing. So I stand high on it, and I just want to see it legalized around the whole globe.
Even though the cost is going up for the end user.
Yeah, but the return is, look at Colorado, for example. They're making so much money, and they're putting it back into the schools, and they're putting it back into the community. There's jobs, the crime rate is dropping. It's like, it's really helping out the situation that we need help with right now, which is, just staying alive and staying strong as a community. So I'm looking at what it's doing for Colorado. If it was doing that around the whole globe, what kind of world would we be living in?
You have a channel on YouTube, and that's been very, very successful. You've been kind of a media mogul for a long time. With the launch of Mary Jane, like, what have you learned from being so embedded in that social media space, and especially on YouTube, kind of a homegrown form of content that's going to be brought over to Mary Jane?
Just the communication, the direct connect with the people, like to be able to really get feedback right now. Like the people tell me exactly what it is they want, what it is they don't like, and what they do like. So just to be able to have a hotline, an information hotline with the people without it being a third party or a wall in a way. That's the brilliance of the social media network nowadays between myself and the people that I call my family. I don't even call them fans because we're so close and it's such a direct connect.
And in terms of getting user acquisition for Mary Jane, obviously you're a huge brand on your own and you can do your own promotion. But how do you like expect to get the word out on this? You think it's just going to spread virally the same way that your content does on YouTube?
Well, we're going to do what we do, you know. We're going to connect with some of the top people that know how to do what they do. And, you know, like we said, we provide the industry with something that's void right now. We are the information hotline to cannabis. We are what's missing. We are what it is to be in that lane, because it's for me. It is I, says me, the grand professor, the face of it, the game, the one, the originator. You dig?
I dig Snoop.
There, by the way, sorry, George, but there are, you know, if you look at even the competitive space, you know, there are a few companies out there that have attempted to try to, you know, enter into the marketplace, and their download apps total and page views total are really numbers that we're going to crush within the first 6 months. So even today, if you look at, you know, you can go to maryjane.com. We're inviting about 420 people a day into our beta site now. You can sign up there at maryjane.com. And today, just off of this news alone, you know, we have tens of thousands of signups. I think the interest level and the demand is there. It's just about someone coming to the forefront like Snoop, like our other partners, and providing the site and media platform that can take cannabis to the next level.
So you guys, I mean, Snoop, you've been smoking forever, feels like, and you know, your brand is tied up in marijuana, and it seems like with Mary Jane, you know, the whole idea is the mainstream version of cannabis, right? Whether it's cooking or, you know, music or whatever it might be, but it's tied up in other things. It's not just a standalone kind of product. Given your history with it and the fact that you seem to be prepping for the future, what does the future look like in 5-10 years with regards to cannabis?
It gives me proud honor to say that Mary Jane will be the door to bring people out of the closet, because there's so many people in the closet right now that do what we do, and they, you know, they really want to come out. So now we're going to give them an opportunity to come out in some form or fashion, whether it's through the cooking show or watching this or just being down with the site in general. But I just feel like we're a better world if everybody comes out the closet and just admits that they like to smoke.
Just admit it, yo.
Just admit it, baby. I'm a smoker. My name is Snoop Dogg, and I'm a stoner.
Round
Hi,
of applause
Snoop.
for those that are part of our community here.
Who here enjoys smoking marijuana?
See, it's so
Be proud.
There's so many that have yet to come out the closet. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to make a way to get y'all out of that closet.
Share your ideas and thoughts on Mary Jane.
Yeah, turn you into a believer. Snoop, like you've conquered a number of verticals. You've built an empire. Why not just like set up on an island and like get yourself like a nice treasure chest full of green and just like have a life with your friends? Why do anything, right?
This is challenging for me. First of all, it's in the industry that is, you know, filled with a bunch of geniuses like yourself. So I've always felt like I was a genius. So I've always wanted to challenge myself, and I'm so far in my career now to where I feel like this is the right opportunity for me and my team to monopolize off of something that I've been pushing for so long, and not only make money off of it, but make people understand what it is and why I love it so much and why you love it so much, and just to make it a global interest around the whole world, international, 24/7, 7 days a week. So that's what this is all about. It's about the challenge of getting up and trying to conquer something once again to see if I'm still great at what I do.
Ted, you said the other day when we were chatting that Mary Jane will be influential not just to people who smoke or people who consume cannabis, but to everyone, that it touches everyone's lives. I'm like, that made me think a little bit. My mom like doesn't have any, you know, she doesn't have any interaction with cannabis ever, right? Like, how does it affect her life?
Well, she, you know, but she might want to ask you about it, right? And, you know, as long as you inspire communication in any vertical, then, you know, maybe at some point you and your mother can have that conversation. And if she wants to find out more about it, Mary Jane is the perfect place to be at to, you know, enjoy the content that's there while learning about it. Every portion of the site, whether it's original content, then, you know, is flexible and connects over to the product database, which is, full breadth. It's not only flowers, but also what we call MIPS, marijuana-infused products. So whether you're a smoker or you're not a smoker and you'd like to try an edible or a tincture or an oil, we really provide you a really comfortable experience. And it's interesting you asked about your mother and if she would be interested. I think the other part that we realized was that all the other sites or apps that do exist, they're designed from a standpoint that might be even a little standoffish for a female fan or consumer. And with that in mind, Snoop and I really started out the entire kind of initial design plan for the site and the look and the feel. The whole design team is women. So yesterday I was walking around and I saw a bunch of young ladies who were involved in, what's the name of the program?
It's built by girls.
Yeah, it's built by girls. I mean, we just think that's so cool. This is really about including everyone who might be sort of left out of the communication or not thought of, especially the female audience and consumers in the cannabis community, because they actually are growing at the highest rate. And to involve everyone into the discussion so that we can really kind of elevate the presentation and do something Cannabis 2.0 that no one's ever done before.
We're out of time, so my last question, Snoop, is Snoop Lion or Snoop Dogg? What are we going with?
We're gonna go with we're just gonna go with Snoop right now. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna leave the last name out until I figure this tech thing out. I may be Snoop Tech next.
You're like Moses. You only need one name.
Yeah, don't worry about nothing, baby. We coming to get you.
Okay, Mary Jane launches in October. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Fully?
And 420 people we're letting in now into the beta site. So, enjoy, come sign up.
420 people into the beta site.
Exactly. By the way, the address of this location is 420. We planned that, so.
We planned that, actually.
planned that.
We
We planned
had
that.
him in mind from the beginning.
He planned that.
But we launch in October, yes. Come check it out. We just want to make the experience better and better, so we're doing that until launch date. And it'll be available online and on mobile.
Awesome. You guys, huge round of applause for Ted and Snoop.